Cutting the pension in half. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. I thought we'd have a look at this article from the ABC discussing the potential for the pension payment to be halved in July. Let's have a look at this. And I thought the suggestion of getting everyone into perpetual debt by, buying your house and your super and then living off the, reverse mortgage and the pension was bad. We'll see. So the pension payment could halve in July because of pandemic changes to superannuation. In July. Okay. That ain't far away. When a letter arrived in her mailbox recently from her superannuation fund, retiree Sandra Luntz was at a loss as to what it all meant. I looked at the letter and just skimmed through it and thought, okay, yeah, it doesn't look too exciting, she said. But the devil was in the detail. And what the former speech pathologist didn't grasp then was that her pension payment was about to be cut in half under changes that come into effect from July 1. As far as I know, I'm not cognitive impaired, and I do have a tertiary education and English is my first language, and yet I had difficulty. Well, there's the thing. The way some of these things are written and prepared, it isn't designed to make it easy for you to understand. I had a viewer send me, he was trying to get funds out of a super fund to put into self-managed, and he said it's been a mission. It's been a mission. He's going to share some of the more exciting details with us soon, but it'll be interesting, guys. What stories have you had from super funds that you'd like to share with everyone that have been horrific to deal with? The 76-year-old turned to her daughter and Pearson to help explain the letter. Under Australia's superannuation arrangements, the federal government requires retirees collecting on their super to withdraw a minimum amount each year. The idea is to ensure those who are better off gradually use up their nest egg rather than keep on enjoying a generous tax break. So there you go. They're forcing people to spend their own money. Oh, this whole process is just so complicated. There's all this talk about reform, this reform, that. How about taxation reform? How about taxation simplification here in Australia? Do you think that'll ever happen? The world's nearly come to an end with this pandemic. Maybe there's a chance. There's a chance. Although I bet you if we, degrade back into a gregarian society, ATO will still exist, guaranteed. You need to give that 15.9% capital gains on that animal you sorted right there. They'll still be around, everyone. But at times of financial instability like now, it can be counterproductive to force superannuants to draw down on their super too fast and eat away at the nest eggs that's supposed to last the rest of their lives. That's why the government moved to reduce the minimum drawdowns as one of the measures to its pandemic stimulus package. Under the changes, fund administrators may automatically reduce payments to the minimum amount set out in the legislation, but retirees can also elect to set the payments to a higher level if it suits them better. So the change could catch retirees out. Ms. Pearson was able to give her mother the guidance she needed as the head of wealth products for the Australian financial services company Clearview. So here we go. Here's the advertisement. It's her job to understand Australia's labyrinthian superannuation system. So my mum's on the minimum pension, and I know for certain that mum could not live on half the amount of money she's getting at the moment, she told Anne. Well, then she can withdraw her money from her super. Isn't that the point? Or we can't have people doing that? I don't understand the point here. Is it just bad communication from the super fund? Sure, 100%. But isn't the goal of super to avoid pensions? Isn't that the objective? She quickly realized recent changes to rules could leave many older Australians financially disadvantaged, well, until they bring up their super fund the next day and get it sorted. My mum is quite financially suave, but she wasn't aware that this would be happening, Miss Pearson said. And when I told her, she was horrified, and not just horrified because her income was halving, but also horrified that someone had actually made this decision on her behalf without consulting her, and horrified at having had her choice taken away from her. Can't she contact the super fund and make a change? That's what they just set up here. It's their money, guys. They're treating, they have control over it. We should get control of it back. Jason Poole from Financial Planners GPA Matrix said people chose to take their super in pension mode for different reasons. If you have your money in the pension mode, you're getting a terrific tax break, he said. You have no tax on the earnings from interest, dividend, etc. No capital gains tax. So it's literally like an offshore account, but onshore. I imagine there are going to be a lot of people that aren't going to have that advantage. I wonder what the pension will be when I reach that age. I wonder if it'll even exist anymore. Somehow I don't think it will. I don't think our demographics will be at the point there where it'll afford to have a pension. So, it's wonderful if you're in the luxurious position of being able to halve your pension. You get all the lovely tax benefits, and you can let your superannuation sit there and fully recover. But that's not everybody. That's really the minority. Most people just need the money they need for day-to-day living. The Assistant Minister for Superannuation and Financial Services, June Hume, said in a statement to the ABC that superannuation trustees should do what's best for members. Trustees should be carefully examining what's in the best interest of their pensioner members and not risk being perceived to hold on to people's money, Senator Hume said. Some pensioners may need the money now, others may want to only take the minimum drawdown. And communicating change. Mr. Poole believes more could have been done to explain the changes. It's a sort of thing that could almost have its own TV campaign, a government announcement. You can reduce your pension if you wish, and your administrator may just forcibly do this to you, he said. Clearview took feedback from its customers as well as legal advice on the new government legislation before deciding against reducing pensions for its account holders unless they requested the change first. Ms. Pearson said other super funds were handling the issue differently. They are automatically reducing people's pensions to the new minimum. For those people, it could be quite difficult for them to suddenly discover that they don't have enough money in their bank accounts to pay their bills. Her mother, Sandra Luntz, meanwhile, is still fuming about the changes. I think I'm jolly lucky that I have a daughter that could help me with these sort of things. Well, there you go, everyone. What do you think? Potential cut to pensions. Are people going to take more money out in lump sums, pay the tax issues? It is just all a mess. In many ways, I'm not a fan of the superannuation. It's your money that's been forcefully put aside beyond your control for the majority of your life. There's some people that don't even have enough in there to warrant anything. So you can see why people are pulling it out of super now that they have the opportunity. I think a lot of people have lost confidence in the superannuation industry and are taking control of their own funds. What's more important, having a stash of cash there that you don't really control, or having a house paid off beforehand, or even getting into a house beforehand? We'll have to see, everyone. We'll have to see. Do you expect to get the pension when you're hitting that age, or do you think it's a luxury that future generations may not get to receive? So let's have a look at the key points. The government changes to superannuation rules as part of their pandemic stimulus package were announced in March. Reduced minimum drawdown rates will mean some retirees could have their superannuation pension payments reduced by half from July 1. Retirees are able to set their payments higher if needed. So what's the issue here? Is it just that there's going to be an element of difficulty in them interacting with the super funds to adjust their payments? Perhaps. But it just shows you how the government is meddling in everyone's business. Let me know your opinions on it. Are you a fan of superannuation? Are you preparing to use it for when you retire? Or do you think you'll just survive off the age pension and you won't need anything? Or you think none of it will exist? As always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us via our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. I need a coffee. You can buy our merch from Heiser Says. You can support us using Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or you can use PayPal. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.